Alright guys, let's jump right back into it. Big question from week 5 is, did Baker Mayfield end his NFL career at least as a starter with his performance against the 49ers? Now, I'm sure everybody has seen the pick 6. If you watched football on Sunday, you've seen the pick 6. Ain't good. Fortunately or unfortunately, there are about 59.8 other minutes of football to watch. So, full disclosure, as always, this time I have watched the game and graded it already, but we're going to go through, I'm going to break down every play, and we're going to see if there's anything that I can benefit from the All-22 tape on, and we can see if you disagree with me on any of these grades. So, let's get to it. Drive. Alright, we're going to start off with a handoff. Alright, here we go. Right off the bat, just like last week, we got another DJ Moore problem. It's exactly the same route. In fact, last week, let me see if I can pull it up. So I was mistaken. This play was actually from week 3, but everybody said like, oh, what is Baker doing? He can't hit the broadside of a barn. Exact same play. Issue was clearly not accuracy, issue is communication. So while Robbie Anderson just completely botched the play because he didn't look back for the ball, DJ Moore locates the ball, gets his hands on the ball, both hands as you'll see, and then that's the ball right there. Just drops down. It's a drop. It's an egregious drop. It's a good throw. It's really well placed. There's not a lot of separation. Baker does everything that he's asked to do. It amounts to nothing, but that's a good throw. And just like that, drive 1 comes to a close. Let's see if the Panthers can get anything going on drive 2. Alright, so the Panthers got a lucky break and recovered a fumble, and they come out of the gate swinging with a jet sweep to DJ Moore. I actually think that's a really good play. Like, that's creative play calling. Running up the middle with D'Onta Foreman instead of Christian McCaffrey, some signs of improvement by the coaching staff. I'm liking what I'm seeing. 1st and 10 throw, get the ball in space to a tight end. I don't know how I feel about that, but that's a routine throw by Mayfield. Certainly nothing to write home about, but you'll take that. Keep in mind that on average, about 50% of dropbacks end with a completed routine play. So that's a check down, a screen, or a small run that amounts to as much as a check down would have. A 3rd and 6 halfback dive, or a halfback draw up the middle out of shotgun is not my favorite, and a 4th and 1 halfback dive out of the shotgun with Christian McCaffrey is certainly not my favorite, but all's well that ends well. Alright, this throw I think is bad. You'll see here, again, I could go to the All-22 to get a better look, but you can tell. Here's the ball, here's hands, here's hands. You've got a cornerback with inside leverage. This is catchable. A good receiver makes this catch, but it's not a good throw. And those are not mutually exclusive. So I always talk about how I don't like to use the All-22 if I don't have to, and you're going to see why. Look at how terrible the quality of this is, and how incredibly innavigable the website is. This is the Robbie Anderson bad pass, should have caught it. First of all, you'll note that even the All-22 doesn't quite give you the view that you want. But second of all, you'll see that it's so blurry, you can hardly tell what's happening. But if you look closely, and bear with me, you'll see that that is the ball. If it's out here, it's a good throw. If it is literally 1.5 feet, 2 feet to the left inside, it is a good throw. Robbie Anderson absolutely has to catch that, and he might even be able to break up field for a little bit of yards after the catch in the red zone, the deep red zone. Instead, the ball is on Robbie Anderson's outside shoulder with a cornerback having outside leverage, and it gets broken up. Let's jump to drive 3. The Panthers are really starting to get a little desperate for some points here. Play action on 1st down, love it. Watch Mayfield navigate the pocket, 2 pump fakes. People were clamoring for some of these pump fakes last week. Notice that Baker's actually got pretty good protection because they keep an extra guy in. They double one of the ends. They are doubling the center field rush. They have a tight end in. So like 2, 4, 6, 7. So they got 6.5 blockers because McCaffrey is kind of a delay into the route. He's staying and blocking in case anything's really pertinent, and then he's just sneaking out hoping he can get into a void. Mayfield's got tons of room. Does Mayfield have anywhere to go with the ball? Again, we're going to have to go to the All-22 to find out. As it stands, that is 2 positive pocket manipulations with a negative run. Let's see what he could have done instead. Stop it there. All right. This is what Baker Mayfield's seeing when he needs to be letting go of the ball. We've got a guy wide open over here. Mayfield needs to look left. If he looks left, yeah, it's tough, but he can get that ball there. He can't really throw the ball here. I know it looks like he's wide open, but that's a long throw. I mean, you're looking at 5, 10, 15, 25 yards. That's not difficult for him to make physically. Baker Mayfield can throw the ball 25 yards on a rope without his feet. You know, like in the air, he could throw that. But 25 yards is a long time for this safety to crash down and murder the wide receiver. So it's just not going to happen. Additionally, he's got over-the-top leverage over here. I think that's Robbie Anderson, but thanks to All-22 from NFL Plus video quality, I can't really tell. Either way, it sure would be a ballsy move to try to lead your receiver, who's unreliable as it is, up the field and try to throw the ball into this void, praying to Christ that he actually makes the play for you and all of Panthers Twitter doesn't eviscerate you for missing a throw. Again, whoever this receiver is right here should be getting the ball. But the read is to the right. Notice that 4 of Mayfield's receivers are either coming from or breaking to the right. That's where he should be looking, and it just wasn't open. Again, super grainy, but you'll watch as DJ Moore motions. Oh my god. I told you guys, you don't need the L22, and it's a good damn thing, because it doesn't work. There you go. See how DJ Moore runs this little zig? Mayfield's looking at it. He needs to hit that right now. I know what he's thinking. He's thinking either Robbie Anderson's going to break up through the safeties up here, because this is single high coverage. So this seems to be a zone. I think that this is a cover 3 because this cornerback is dropping deep into the deep third. He's playing center field, and it looks like this cornerback, I think that's Mosley, is going to be dropping back into a deep third as well. So he's thinking if I've got thirds, that means somebody's covering here, and somebody's covering here, and somebody's covering here. If he can split that ball in right here with good protection, get that ball right here, Robbie Anderson's got a huge chunk play in the seam, and he can outrun the safeties to the end zone. So that's what Baker Mayfield's thinking. And he's thinking, alternatively, if Robbie Anderson can't break that seam, if those safeties converge, that means that this center fielder is going to come over, allowing this wide receiver over here to fill his void. Boom, another deep field shot. So he wants it all on first down. That's why he's ignoring DJ Moore on the zig. Now that we're back from All-22 land, where we break down that play, Baker Mayfield having a negative run with 2 positive pocket movements, we watch on. They come out throwing still on second down, and Baker Mayfield goes deep. Perfect go ball to Robbie Anderson. Just watch that again real quick, just because it was lovely, and we don't get to see a lot of good football in these Panthers breakdowns, do we? All right, so the line of scrimmage is at the 21-yard line. Baker Mayfield on his drop. First read, open, hits him right at about the plus 49. 51 minus 21. Anybody? 30 yards. 30 yards, perfect ball placement, ideal, elite throw. You don't do it better than that, and those chunk plays are how you score points. Now, of course, they come out and run the ball on first down, up the gut with their scat back. Not intelligent. And they run a little play-action screen to DJ Moore. Fights and almost makes it worth it, but that's a lot of work for a 5-yard gain. I just don't generally agree with this dink and dunk philosophy of offense, especially when you just saw your quarterback throw it deep perfectly. You've got field-stretching receivers. Use them. There's a mental error that backs him up, hallmark of a poorly coached team, and all of a sudden it's third down. On 3rd and 6, you run up the gut with your scat back, and somehow it works. Bad process, great result, first down in field goal range already. Poor snap, Mayfield collects it, slides left, that's a plus move, and that's a bad throw. This is bad. Yes, I know he's getting hit, but look at all that space up there. You get a little bit more air on that ball. Now, I know you don't want to overthrow it because this is an open chunk play, but this is a miss. Hit the linebacker in the back of the head. Now, it's not pickable because the reason you throw it low and behind is because you know you've got a trail position defender. You know that it's not going to get picked off because the defender can't afford to turn around. But put that ball further downfield, put a little air on it, get yourself the easier yards. Now, the penalty bails him out a little bit, but that's still a bad throw, and we still grade it. Here, Baker Mayfield avoiding pressure, throws it deep. He doesn't really have an angle here. Like, I know you have a one-on-one with your quote-unquote best receiver, and he probably is. But there's nowhere to put this ball. Like, maybe if you put it right here, maybe he can make a big play on the ball. Instead, Baker puts it towards the sideline, which is actually the safer play. But Moore doesn't track it properly. It lands just out of bounds. It would have taken a great catch. I would say it's slightly inaccurate. It's a bad throw. It's extremely close to being a good throw, but it was slightly bad. And of course, Ike Ekwonu has a holding because it's just what he does. On 1st and 20, I actually kind of like the little slant route to the reincarnation of Ruben Randall. But look at this. Look at this poorly executed screen. First of all, it's clear you've got a blitz. So maybe Mayfield should be audibling out of this. You got a 5-man blitz. So you got 5 defensive linemen here. You've got 4 defensive backs right here on the right side of the field, up on the line of scrimmage. That means you got single high. This is maybe single high man at the best, but it might even be zero coverage. And you're throwing a screen into it? Homie, what are you doing? And like, Ike Ekwonu doesn't block his man, of course. If this was a well-executed screen, Ike Ekwonu is pile driving this guy. So McCaffrey has a ton of space. Brady Christensen does not block Fred Warner. This is poor blocking, turning a well-executed or a well-thrown screen to a really explosive player into nothing. It's frustrating. It's terrible offensive line play. It is the hallmark of the Carolina Panthers, and you got to know that. Everything worked out the way they wanted. That jet motion to the right actually opened up the play. But not enough. Mayfield with a routine throw here, a pedestrian throw. I might want him to try to target Robbie Anderson deep because he's already got the safety on his heels. But I don't think that there's enough room for Robbie Anderson to get upfield and beat out the safety, and there certainly is not enough time because Baker's already being hugged. It's a good play. He's under pressure, so he gets a plus move. It's a pedestrian throw. It's 4th and short. If the Panthers had any sense of the room, they'd be going for it because they should know that they are significant underdogs in this game. However, they are poorly coached, so we do not get such things. This is an exercise in futility, and Jesus Christ, I cannot wait to grade a functional offense. But for now, Baker is the most interesting player in the league. All right, drive 4. Can the Panthers go 93 yards? Not if you run the ball up the gut on 1st down with your scat back. I don't know why they keep doing this. It is fucking frustrating. But play action on 2nd down. Really nice executed screen. Look at this. Look at Ian Thomas. The Panthers basically weaponized the fact that they've got terrible blocking schemes because here Nick Bosa's thinking, oh, it's just Ian Thomas fanning on a block as he always does. Mayfield does a really good job of throwing around the bat. Got a free rusher with his hands up, but because the guy can't jump, because it's a longer developing play, Baker Mayfield has longer to manipulate him. Remember last week, On 4th down especially, you've got the free rusher coming up the gut, and Baker Mayfield's on a one-step drop, which means the ball has to be out immediately, or else the entire play is broken. Here, it's play action, so automatically you've got a little bit more development in the routes. The receivers can get downfield more, and you keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5 people into block. So, yes, there's a free rusher. Yes, it is a short route, but it is not the same as last week because here, Baker Mayfield doesn't have to throw it right now. He's got a little time to play with. He can wait until Bosa is on his off foot, and as soon as Bosa's foot is out off the ground, he can't jump, which means Baker can put it right over him. Good ball. It's a routine throw with a plus pocket move because he evaded the batting jumper. Great job. I mean, not great in the sense of charting, but it was a good job. That is the best you can execute that play. Here, we've got a one-step drop. The ball is supposed to come right here. This is a pick play. Robbie Anderson's supposed to break in, taking this cornerback out of the play. This tight end is supposed to break out, catching the ball with a little bit of room to run. It kind of works that way. See Robbie Anderson doing an offensive pass interference right here? It needs to come out here, or it needs to go to the running back who's kind of running like a delayed mirror version. It can't. This receiver doesn't present himself for the ball. McCaffrey doesn't break free from the linebacker quick enough. Baker Mayfield pulls it down. Avoiding a jumping defensive lineman, he pulls it down and tries to evade. Now this is what everybody wanted him to do last week. Pull the ball down, pump fake, evade, slide. Well, when you evade and slide on a short developing route, nobody's open. Blanketed. 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 Nothing you can do. Got to throw the ball away. So it's a plus move to pull the ball down. It's a plus move to slide out of pressure. You throw the ball away. It's not great. It's a positive play, technically, but I see it as really effectively no better than just trying to throw the ball as the play calls for and possibly getting it batted. This is what happens when you don't understand how to tailor your play calls to the talent on your team. Because you might notice, you should notice, I should have pointed it out as well. Double team, one-on-one, one-on-one, one-on-one. But as soon as Baker pulls the ball down and slides, Taylor Moton doesn't understand how to protect leverage. He does not understand that he needs to seal off that outside shoulder. This double team in the middle is doing nothing about this free running linebacker. Elfine has been driven to his ass. This offensive line's not good enough to hold up and improvise. Baker knows. So you either need to leave somebody in and give them help, call a protection scheme that is on a 5 or 7 step drop so that they can settle in and allow Baker Mayfield to evade the rush, or you have to live with the fact that you're going to have busted up plays like that. That ain't on the quarterback. Quarterback actually had a positive play. This is just what happens when you have a bad team that's poorly coached and play calls that are incongruent with what you have to work with. Personally, I know how to cook a hell of a steak, but if I've only got tofu and twigs, I'm not cooking that steak, am I? I don't have steak. All right, drive 5, done with terrible analogies about cooking steak. I just realized that actually I don't have that great of a repertoire as a cook. I know how to make like 6 things, and they're mostly just different kinds of meat. Oh, tell you what, I make awesome guacamole, and I'm not going to make it if I don't have onions. I'm not going to call quick-hitting plays if I don't have a well-organized offensive line. Make sense? Cool. Drive 5. Panthers block a kick. They have a minute and a half to drive 50 to 60 yards and tie this game up at halftime, which would be a massive coup for this, shall we say, underdog. Mayfield slides. Oh, I think I skipped a play. I did skip a play. You missed nothing. It's a routine screen to Shi Smith. Shi Smith with the ball in his hands is actually very good. It's just that he sucks at catching the ball and running consistent routes. So, routine. They're going to give you that in crunch time. Again, routine, little slant to a playmaker, get some yards after the catch. They're going to give you that with the clock. You know, the 49ers are playing defense in more of a conservative zone scheme because they know the clock is the number one enemy for the Panthers. That being said, like clockwork, I make a statement, and the 49ers defy it. They know that you think that they're going to play conservative, so they do deep dropping zones. It's all soft coverage, but they blitz Fred Warner. And he gets right through because Brady Christensen doesn't know what he's doing. Literally falls on his butt. This is high comedy. Mayfield is staring down the dick with no deep receivers open. His only option is McCaffrey. He's about to get crunched by either Warner or whoever Ike Ekwonu was supposed to be blocking. We know he doesn't actually block very well. You got to hit McCaffrey here. You probably want to have that ball out a little quicker. You got to arm on... I mean, Baker Mayfield's being pulled in multiple directions here. I understand why the ball is bad, but the ball is bad because he didn't get the ball out quick enough. Bad throw plus movement for getting it out instead of getting sacked, but it's a bad throw. He needs to be better than that. Here's a routine play. I don't love this. I mean, there's nothing really open. Could get it to McCaffrey here, hope for some yak. You could, throw a back shoulder dart to Robbie Anderson right here, but Anderson has proven that he doesn't fucking know how to handle back shoulder throws. You gave the ball to your wide receiver, catchable, able to get downfield with it. Greenlaw makes a really good play. None of it matters because there's a holding or an illegal hands to the face. Not great. And here's the infamous interception. Now, the worst thing about this play, the thing I hate the most, is that Mayfield wants this guy. He's looking to go a little deeper. He doesn't really have anything to the right, and his entire play is to the left, so yes, the fullback's about to break open. That's not relevant. He does a little pump fake because he's seeing ghosts. He feels this pressure more than it really exists. And because of that, his body is just all weird. He doesn't have his proper momentum. He's not throwing with his proper leverage on his front foot. And the ball goes a little high on him. Now, it does go right under and between McCaffrey's hands. Like, this should have been caught. It's a bad throw, but it should have been caught. And yeah, it gets picked. But that's really unfortunate because McCaffrey should have at the very least tipped this ball. And of course it goes back for 6. And that looks bad because McCaffrey was super open, so missing that throw is egregious. But in reality, this play is not that bad. Like, I call it interceptable just because that's such an easy throw to hit and he didn't hit it. Like, you gotta hit this. But you gotta catch that. Now, I know, the quality's not awesome. I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about it. Here's the ball. These white flashes are hands. You're a receiving back. You gotta catch that ball. And if you don't catch it, you at least gotta get a hand on it. So, I don't know. It's a tough grade. I'm gonna call it interceptable because I don't want to be accused of being a Baker Mayfield homer. But if you're asking me what I really think about that throw, I think it's a bad throw that had a little bit of bad luck attached to it. And yeah, that's backbreaking. That's gut-wrenching. It really sucks. But it's kind of a breakdown of all the different facets of the game. Mayfield overreacted to pressure. That's bad. He got happy feet. He saw ghosts. You don't want that. But you kind of get it when he's playing with probably the worst offensive line in the NFL. Mayfield missed high to a wide open receiver, and that's bad. It's real bad. Even if McCaffrey would have gone up and snagged that ball, it would have been a bad throw. Now, because McCaffrey misses the ball instead of catching it or tipping it, it's intercepted. If we're really basing our grades on the process instead of the results, we call that a bad throw. But because people want to hate Baker Mayfield, and I don't want to feel crazy because I'm on an island defending him all the time, I'll call it interceptable. Even still, Mayfield's played a pretty good game so far. I mean, before that interception, he was solid, average, perfectly average, just like last week against Arizona. But the second half is coming up, and it's a lot better. All right, so I kind of forgot that we technically have drive 6 here before the half. Panthers come out, a bad throw. I mean, like, it was catchable, but bad. You gotta hit him on that. That was super easy, and honestly, that might be the difference between a field goal and nothing. So shame on you, Baker Mayfield. That was bad. And they run it because they're forfeiting, and they punt it because they're double forfeiting. So let's just jump ahead, get to drive. Oh, yeah, drive 7. It starts with a routine throw. I don't think you guys need to see that. Here's a bad throw. Receiver's covered. Can't throw that. Not that anybody else is open, but you can't throw that. Third down, pocket manipulation. Look at that. Nice downfield throw. Pump fakes to keep everybody down. Hold the defenders over here. DJ Moore breaking open. Ball's already out. Great anticipation. Good throw. Legitimately good throw. I think here is where Baker starts to pick his game up. Play action. Escapes from a free rusher. Throws the ball away. That is 2 pocket moves. 1 for the cornerback blitz. 1 for the defensive lineman breaking late. Positive throwaway. Little play action, rolling left with a defender in his face, gets the ball out. It's a routine throw, but a plus pocket movement. Baker is doing his thing. Notice that Baker is really good at evading pressure when you call longer dropbacks, throw further downfield. Here the protection holds up really well. Well, Ike Ekwonu actually just exists in space and kind of screen blocks. He did nothing good on this snap, but hey, the fact that he didn't get pushed right back into Mayfield is an improvement for him. Mayfield under pressure, plus movement, gets the ball out quickly. Routine throw to the sticks. I actually really like that play call. And it goes for 6. Touchdown Panthers. Look at how lovely that is. Just like that, drive 7 ends with a touchdown. Now, of course, they come out here with P.J. Walker on the 2-point conversion attempt because he's more mobile. And a lot of good that fucking did him. All right, so that's a good drive from Baker Mayfield. I don't think he had any bad plays. He had 2 incompletions, but they were both positive throwaways. He made 1 positive play on that dart to DJ Moore. And just like that, the Panthers scored a touchdown. Life should always be so simple. Have no fear, 49ers fans. The Panthers did absolutely nothing to stop Jimmy Garoppolo from marching down the field and scoring another touchdown. But we're here for Baker Mayfield. Look at this. It's a great ball. Look at that. It's perfect. Notice the defensive back is neck and neck with Shi Smith, but he's got outside leverage. So Baker Mayfield knows he's got about 5 to 10 yards on the outside that he can utilize to create an opening for his receiver. Mayfield puts it out there. Now, Smith doesn't track the ball particularly well. If he tracks it better, he just gets out wider instead of having to jump. So if he's a step further towards the sideline, instead of jumping, this lands directly in his tummy, and he just keeps on running for a touchdown. This is an elite throw. Even as it is, even without the yak, the ball is thrown. Well, I always measure from the line of scrimmage, right? Because like Kyler Murray's going to have to drop back 10 yards, whereas Josh Allen will have to drop back 4. So a lot of that yardage is just quarterback prohibitive. Line of scrimmage is at, let's say, the 52. So we got the 48 down to the 20 is where the ball is caught. That's a 30-yard, that's a 28 air yard throw past the line of scrimmage. 28 yards downfield on a dime. That's an elite throw. And look at that. Now, this is a 24-yard pass past the line of scrimmage or so, and the ball is in Robbie Anderson's hands. Now, Robbie Anderson drops it because that's just what he does. But there is no disputing that this is a great throw. It's arguably elite. I graded it as great because it did require Robbie Anderson to do something Robbie Anderson just doesn't do very often. Catch a ball. You'll also notice that Robbie Anderson does have a step, so Mayfield could have put the ball a little further downfield, but he still utilized the leverage and height advantage that Anderson had. He didn't want to overthrow it. This is a perfectly thrown ball. Honestly, I don't know what the hell Robbie Anderson's thinking. Like, I know that Robbie Anderson doesn't blame himself for this because he's got that kind of confidence that you need to be an outside player in the NFL, whether it's defensive back or receiver. But boy, that's egregious. It just took a touchdown right off the board with a bad drop. Mayfield avoiding pressure and deciding, rather than dying, I will slide. Look at this offensive... So an offensive line is supposed to look like a wall, right? Ike Ekwonu is the only fucking offensive lineman who is currently still in the position he's supposed to be in. Look at this shit. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-man protection. 3 receivers to the left, with a running back also sneaking left. This is a terrible play design. I don't know what you think is going to happen here unless you want to throw the screen to McCaffrey. But Ekwonu is not engaging with this linebacker. So if Baker throws this ball, it's going back for 6. See how this linebacker is free running? He's actually not touching the left tackle, which means that if the ball comes this way, he can jump to it, and at the very least knock it down. But you'll also notice that left guard Brady Christensen has been blown back not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but 6 yards off the line of scrimmage. That's called getting beaten. Whoever this is completely lost. I think that's Taylor Moton, but I honestly don't know because everything is in shambles. Oh no, it's Tommy Tremble. This is Taylor. This is your right tackle. He's to the left of the left guard. This is bad. This is really bad, guys. What they were trying to do is run everybody flood left and then sneak Tommy Tremble out to the right on a screen. It's a dumb play as it is. Why do you keep on trying to get the ball into your tight end's hands in space? But it's broken, and Mayfield realizes it's broken. So he can do one of two things right here. He can either throw the ball while on a dead sprint, because he's stepping up into the pocket as he should. This is already a plus movement to not be sacked here, while your fat asses sit back here like, uh-oh. So he can either run at a dead sprint up the gut, get eaten alive by the 5 converging defenders, and throw a ball up for a jump ball in the end zone right here. Or he can just slide or throw it away. Either play ends this in a field goal. He decides to do the safe thing and just slide. Maybe draw a penalty. It's a no-fault sack. It's a pocket evasion. It's a debacle by the Panthers' offensive line. But hey, at least they got the field goal. Thus ending drive 8, I want to say. Another scoring drive. Baker played really well, but sometimes when Robbie Anderson drops the ball in the end zone and your play caller draws up one of the dumbest things I've ever seen on 3rd and 10, you gotta settle for a field goal. Drive 9 coming up, and thank Christ the Matt Rhule era is almost over. We will break down maybe 2 more drives under his tenure. First down, Mayfield drops back, nice deep drop. Unfortunately gets his foot caught up. Let's see if he had anywhere to go. So basically they're running 3 verts. It looks like they're going to run a streak, kind of a veer curling along the linebackers and just kind of trying to sit in this void, and a streak. They're going to have Tommy Tremble run directly into the zone coverage here to hold this curl defender, and McCaffrey is out in the flat as always. Baker's got a nice pocket, but these 2 routes are not open. We'll have to see a little bit later on the All-22 if those ones are. And while he's stepping up in the pocket, which is good, Ike Ekwonu's man is on the ground at Baker Mayfield's feet, grabbing onto his ankle. Plus move to get away from that. No fault sack. Yikes. For the hell of it, let's go see if anything was open downfield. I doubt it. So just as I thought, they're running streaks down the sidelines. You got DJ Moore here. You got Robbie Anderson doubled over here because it's a single high look. It's the same thing they did earlier on the play I broke down. It's literally the same coverage. It's basically cover 3. You've got a corner going deep. You got a corner going deep. You got a linebacker flashing to the curl. And over here the same with a box safety. But because these are streaks on the outside, it basically plays the same as man coverage single high with zone underneath. So this cornerback going deep. This cornerback's going deep. This safety's going to help over the top on this corner. That'll have DJ Moore open right here if he bites completely. Right here, Baker has got a clean enough pocket that he should be able to throw a strike, but if he tries to throw it in here, it's getting picked off. You just can't try to beat Fred Warner, an elite linebacker, on that tight of a throw. Like, remember, it's not about if DJ Moore is in space. It's about if there's a lane. So Baker can throw this ball, but if he's going to get it here with any velocity and quickness, it's going to have to be a flat line, and that flat line is going to cross right over Fred Warner's nose. That means interception. Bear with me as the all-22 tape is just egregiously bad. You'll see here, again, right here, Baker Mayfield's ankle is being held onto. His outside receivers did not get open. This safety has gotten wise and is going to bear down on DJ Moore. Fred Warner is still in position to make a play on the ball, but now this linebacker is also running towards it because everybody sees it. And again, Baker Mayfield's got his ankle being held down, so he can't step into that throw. Watch it one more time and pray that it works out. If it doesn't, we're done here. So, again, assuming the pressure or the protection holds up, Baker still doesn't really have a throwing lane over here. He'd have to loft the ball with lots of arc and anticipation so that Moore could run under it here. That's doable, but it takes time. Mayfield has not had that time. He's been held onto. He's been fucked. This is a no-fault sack because there's nowhere he could have gone. The play was stupid and didn't work, and frankly, when you don't have good enough players to protect, and you don't have players getting open, and you don't have good play calling, quarterbacking looks clunky. And that's all I can say. So, after that no-fault sack on first down, Mayfield retrieves another bad snap and throws the flat. It was more of a swing. It doesn't matter. It's going nowhere, and it's a routine throw. Good job on Pat Alfine to draw that penalty by snapping the ball early. 3rd and 9, and for the Panthers, that's actually relatively manageable compared to most of their third down plays. Another routine play by Mayfield, that's not whatever, you know. On 3rd and 9, you throw a flat. It's not bad, but nobody should ever be impressed. Watch as Mayfield pump fakes, buys himself a second, holds these linebackers over here because he knows that he wants to go to DJ Moore. And then off-platform makes a fucking seed of a throw. This is a solid throw. It's not that far downfield, but he used his eyes to hold the linebacker over, creating the opening. DJ Moore did not get open on his own. Baker Mayfield got DJ Moore open. Great play. And he comes right back to him the next play. Now, DJ Moore drops this. DJ Moore's dropped a lot of balls this year, but this is a solid throw from Mayfield. He slides left, that's another plus movement. Throws it over the linebacker, settles it in. Moore has to catch that. In fact, Moore should probably catch that without going to the ground. It's not a perfect throw upfield to keep him in stride, but that is a plenty good enough throw to keep him in stride. I'm trying to anticipate what the comments are going to say, that this was behind him or underthrown, but I disagree. I almost want to go to the all-22 to prove my opinion that the ball was perfectly high enough for DJ Moore to catch this in stride, but we've seen what a debacle the all-22 is. Again, that ball was at least at knee height, probably waist height. DJ Moore has to catch that and keep running. That's on DJ Moore. Yet another drop. In this game, I counted 9 throws that Baker Mayfield was accurate on that were not caught. That was not one of them. That's a bad throw. It's not just that Baker Mayfield anticipated more of a button hook outside rather than a curl inside. That's just a bad throw. He missed. And he makes up for it with another solid throw. And then DJ Moore spazzes out. The entire defense is confused by the seizure that DJ Moore just had in the open field. And he takes it for another 5 yards after the catch. Very nice. Solid throw. Pedestrian throw. Nice little pocket movement. Look at this. He knows his pocket is closing in. He throws the ball off platform with pressure in his face. He puts it on Shi Smith's hands. This is a great throw. Look at that ball. That's in his hands. In his hands, in double coverage. 15 yards past the line of scrimmage with pressure in his face. That is a great throw. The ball's in his hands. But he drops it. That's what Shi Smith does. If he doesn't lead the NFL in drops, somebody needs to get cut. It's a great throw. I'm grading that as great. I would love to hear somebody defy me and tell me why that's not a great throw. Hit him in 2 hands. Yeah, he had to lay out a little bit, but he didn't have to go fully airborne to get it. He didn't have to go horizontal to get it. He just had to reach. 3rd and 11. Pedestrian throw. Honestly, I would have liked him to put it outside and hope that you can get upfield. I don't think he could have, but it's worth a shot. Why you're kicking on 4th and 2, down 18 points is beyond me, but there's a reason Matt Rhule currently doesn't have a job. Drive 10, more drops, Baker Mayfield playing well, Matt Rhule not trying to win the game. I think that was the exact moment that David Tepper knew he had to fire this guy. Like, not only has the team started to give up, but this guy's giving up too. We're rapidly approaching garbage time on drive 11. Basically, if they don't score here, this game's over. First down. It's basically a screen. It's a flat, but the coverage is so off it might as well be a screen. This is routine. Yeah, you might have wanted to put the ball over here so that McCaffrey could cut upfield, but I think that what Baker was doing by leading him outside is trying to get him on the sideline where he's best. McCaffrey just drops it. McCaffrey's hands haven't been great today, or else we'd have 6 less points on the board. That ball's just bad, and McCaffrey catches it. Oh, no, he doesn't. And 3rd down, Baker wants it all. Now, this is a frustration play. This is like the emotional fuck it ball. But holy shit, Baker Mayfield just threw the ball 50 yards downfield into double coverage, and he hit his receiver in the goddamn hands. The line of scrimmage is directly on the 10-yard line. Mayfield is moving when he throws this ball. Watch this. He knows that he's got pressure. Drake Jackson has beaten Ike Ekwonu because Ike Ekwonu has basically moved far enough backwards that he is no longer a screen. Ike Ekwonu doesn't block people. He simply screens them. Ike Ekwonu has moved far enough back that the screen is over. Mayfield, knowing he's going to get hit soon, just launches it. It's not quite a plus move. The pressure wasn't impending enough. Look at that. If DJ Moore was the elite wide receiver that he thinks he is, that so many people online think that he is, frankly, being from Chicago, I follow lots of Bears fans, and they think that DJ Moore is the savior that Justin Fields needs. If DJ Moore was the receiver he is purported to be, this ball which hits him in the hands would be caught. It is not. He is not. Now, I will grant you this. We should go to the all-22 to see if that was an elite throw. But first, let's watch this fourth down play, because if they don't get it, we can end the video right now. Honestly, it's so impressive that he doesn't get sacked right here. This is instantaneous pressure. Remember, it's 4th and 10. The ball has to go a little farther downfield. All of the routes that are actually pertinent are right here. Baker has to throw the ball right now if he's going to get it out. And you could argue he's got some leverage right here. So if he's got this leverage right here, he could throw the ball, hope that his receiver understands what's going on. But this receiver is about to break in. So if he throws it outside where the leverage is, this receiver is going to run past it, the ball will fall here, everybody will say, "What are you doing? Baker, you idiot!" And nothing will come of it. He's trying to make a play. There's 3 guys sacking him. He tries to break it, and he almost does, but that's a no-fault sack. There's nothing he can do. I'm tempted to give him a plus pocket move on it, but I just don't care enough. It's the end of the game. And if that's the last play of Baker Mayfield's career as a starting quarterback, how fitting. After the 49ers score a very easy touchdown, I think this is where PJ Walker comes in for cleanup duty. Yep. And just quickly perusing, it's certainly nothing to write home about. It's backup time. That's actually a good throw. Don't worry, this kind of garbage time is exactly what'll get fans excited so that they could say, PJ Walker better than Baker Mayfield. Look at how he marched down the field in the 4th quarter. And then next week, when PJ Walker does a lot of this, they'll be totally silent. So I found a better way to share this all 22 footage with you. But here's that throw to DJ Moore deep downfield. You'll see right there, it hits DJ Moore. Now, the cornerback makes a really good play on it, so it's not like DJ Moore dropped the ball. But it doesn't get more accurate than this. Look at that ball right in his hands. Now, again, cornerback makes a play, but DJ Moore also has to know that in a contested catch situation, you got to attack that ball. A good receiver makes that catch. DJ Moore played this like an average receiver. He didn't get open, and he didn't attack the ball. He might as well have been anybody. Now, if that's first down, if this is a close game, I would say bad decision by Mayfield, bad throw because you didn't need to do all that. But it's 3rd and 10 from your own 10-yard line. You're down 20 points. This is your only shot. You got to take a deep shot. Nobody else is open. It kind of looks like Tommy Tremble would have been open until you realize that when the ball was released, he was standing right here with these 2 guys who stopped moving because the ball was in the air. This isn't a bad play by DJ Moore. It's just a pedestrian one, and he's supposed to be better than that. And it's a really good throw by Baker Mayfield. He was back against a wall, pressured in the pocket, slides out of pressure, and makes a perfect throw 50 yards downfield. I don't know what more you could want. Frankly, Josh Allen made an extremely similar throw on the exact same day, and Gabriel Davis made a one-handed catch to snag the ball away from Minkah Fitzpatrick for a touchdown. The difference in those plays is purely wide receiver capability. All right, so in sum, here's what we've got for Baker Mayfield's day. The first half started off kind of rough. It wasn't very good, and again, we're grading that ball interceptable when it probably should have been bad, if we're being honest. But again, I'm always trying to overcorrect for any perceived biases I may have towards Baker Mayfield. If I had graded it as a bad pass that Christian McCaffrey probably could have caught, which I believe to be true, we're coming out at almost exactly a C. It boosts up his grade about 2 points. But we're not doing that. We're going to be harsh. We're going to be as cruel as anybody reasonably could be. In the 3rd quarter, Baker Mayfield was fucking electric. He had that one deep ball down the sideline to Robbie Anderson. He had another great throw to Shi Smith. He didn't miss any throws, despite having a throwaway. He also evaded the rush in the pocket very well. In the 4th quarter, Baker Mayfield was good, not as great. Now remember, that throw to Shi Smith should have been elite, but I'm being harsh. If we upgrade the throw to Shi Smith to elite, all of a sudden, Baker Mayfield's grade jumps up another point. But we're being ridiculous. I'm trying to be as harsh on Baker Mayfield as anybody ever could be so that nobody has to question whether or not I'm biased. In the fourth quarter, Baker was okay. Now remember, that throw to DJ Moore, we called it elite. It's an elite throw. It was 50. I mean, we just got done seeing it. I don't have to explain any further. But for the purposes of charting, I'm not calling it elite. I'm calling it bad. Just to be safe. And that's a 4-point swing on his grading. And even still, even being as harsh as I can feasibly imagine being, Baker Mayfield was excellent in the second half. Truly excellent in the second half. And I gave him an A- on the day. We went through. We only found 8 bad throws. And yes, one of them was an ugly pick six, but even that one wasn't really totally his fault. It was a bad throw, but it certainly didn't deserve to be intercepted. What you should expect when you throw that ball to your star receiving back is that he probably catches it. But even if he doesn't, he gets a hand on it. You don't expect it to go through his hands and into the arms of a safety who catches it on a knee and gets up, runs it back for a touchdown. That's not quite the same as, the classic Jameis Winston pick six where you just ignore a linebacker, throw it his way, he catches the ball and runs back. Now again, being as harsh as possible, I thought it deserved an A-. We're rounding down when it comes to the grades. We said that ball was a pickable when I don't think that it should have been. We said that the last throw was not elite. It was bad. We said that the throw to Shi Smith wasn't elite. It was just great. So we're downgrading every chance we get on a per-played basis. And we're going to downgrade his game grade. So even given all of those plays being bad, or less good than I think they truly were, he's still an A-. But once again, we're going to round down and give him a B+. His slugging score says he deserves more. My eye test says he deserves an A-. But we're giving him the B+. And that still wasn't enough to win. Through 5 games with the Carolina Panthers, it looks like Baker Mayfield's career as a starter might be over. He has a high ankle sprain and he's going to miss 2 to 6 weeks. The Panthers just fired Matt Rhule and their season is probably in the gutter. To the extent that he ever had a hope of having a good year and revitalizing his career, it's all but dead now. And even still, he managed to have 1 great game out of 5. He's got a median game grade, a mode game grade, and basically an average game grade of a B+. His average slugging score is 5.5. That's pretty good. He's got more positive plays than negative plays. He's fairly accurate, and he really only put the ball in harm's way about 0.8 times a game. And again, that's with a pessimistic view. So if you come over here to my summary chart where I keep all of the grades that I've done for all the quarterbacks, note guys like Josh Allen and Matt Stafford that I've done 4 games for, as well as Tom Brady. These are really good quarterbacks, and I have a pretty good sample size of them. I haven't done all of their games, but I've done almost all of their games. I've also done a lot of Lamar, but he's a very different style of quarterback, so let's leave him out. Baker Mayfield's slugging per game grade is higher than Josh Allen's. I know I said it was 5.5 a little earlier. I had to fix the formula real quick. It had the wrong denominator, effectively. But 4.4. That's slightly better than Tom Brady. It's a little worse than Marcus Mariota. It is in line with other good quarterbacks. Now, typically Tom Brady actually hovers around 8. It's a down year for him so far. And typically Josh Allen is a lot better than 2.5, but he had that one real stinker against Miami that's dragging him down. That's why it's more effective to look at median grades. You see everything that's happened, and it can't get affected by outliers as easily. Josh Allen's a 3.15. Tom Brady's a 2.7. Baker Mayfield's also a 2.7. He's putting together good game grades. He's protecting the ball. Now, he produced a great game. That's tough to do, period. Tom Brady hasn't produced a great game yet. And Baker Mayfield did it, against, well, not against great competition, but with terrible help. He's getting a lot of big-time throws. He's throwing the ball downfield effectively, and he hasn't been that inaccurate. Yeah, 72.6 isn't great, but we're talking about a couple of missed throws away from what all the other great quarterbacks are doing. I mean, hell, he's keeping pace with Aaron Rodgers in terms of accuracy. All in all, it's really unfortunate that Baker Mayfield's season is probably going to end this way, because as we saw against the 49ers, he's still capable of really good play. And in fact, I think we've seen it as recently as this week. Again, this is the final grade. If you saw something worse than this, tell me why. Now, I don't want to hear any subjectivity. I don't want to hear that he's not a leader. I don't want to hear that he didn't carry his team to a win or he's not a winner. Don't give me all of your emotional bullshit. We just went through every play. Tell me which plays you disagree with. Mercifully, Baker Mayfield won't be playing for at least about a month, so I won't be doing Baker breakdowns going forward. I may do a PJ Walker, but I have a hunch that it's going to be so bad that nobody needs to see it. Every week, I'm going to be doing some really interesting quarterbacks game breakdowns. I think I'm still going to do Aaron Rodgers against the Giants this week because Aaron Rodgers has been putting up stinkers lately. If you want me to break down a certain game from a certain quarterback, hit me in the comments below. I think that this is the part where I'm supposed to tell people to like and subscribe because we're on YouTube. But let me know. Any comments, any suggestions, critiques, I'm all ears, and I'll respond. I'll engage. As long as you keep it respectful and on topic, I will talk ball with you all damn day. Until next time, which may be tomorrow, this is Joe signing off. Hasta.